Welcome to 5-Minute Bible, your daily guide for your daily reading. Today's June the 4th, and we'll be looking at Proverbs 4 through 6. Now, today's proverb moves from foundational wisdom principles into intensely practical covenant instruction. Proverbs 4 through 6 focuses on guarding the heart and resisting corruption, pursuing diligence and controlling speech, even avoiding financial foolishness and fleeing from sexual immorality, and walking carefully upon the path of righteousness. And in that way, wisdom is no longer presented merely as a beautiful idea. Now it's pressing directly into our daily habits, desires, relationships, and moral choices. That will slowly shape our entire lives. And in that way, Proverbs 4 repeatedly urges the reader to pursue wisdom above everything else because wisdom guards you, preserves you, and directs your life itself. The Father commands His Son to watch carefully over his heart and to avoid the path of the wicked and to walk in the increasing light of righteousness. Proverbs 5 then warns powerfully against sexual immorality, portraying adultery as seductive but ultimately destructive. The chapter contrasts the bitterness of forbidding desire with the joy and the satisfaction of covenant faithfulness within marriage. Then Proverbs 6 addresses several practical dangers: financial recklessness, laziness, deception, divisiveness, and sexual temptation. The chapter also contains the famous list of the thing that God hates, including pride and lying and violence and those who sow discord among the community of brothers. The section concludes with a powerful and urgent warning about adultery and the devastating, destructive consequences it brings. So as you read this passage today, I want you to ask the following question: what kind of habits and desires and paths slowly shape the direction of your life? These chapters show that wisdom is not merely about the major decisions that we make, it's also about guarding the heart daily from the corrupting power of sin and folly. And in that way, the central pattern in these chapters is the battle for the heart, because life eventually flows outward from our inward loves and from our desires and attentions and imaginations and affections. Long before destruction appears publicly, corruption begins internally through compromised desires or unchecked appetites, careless speech, laziness, pride, foolish associations, or wandering attentions. Another major pattern in this section is the imagery of the path. Proverbs is constantly presenting life as a road that is being traveled, and every choice and habit and desire and repeated action slowly directs a person towards wisdom or towards destruction. Nobody suddenly arrives at ruin accidentally, according to the Proverbs. Small compromises compound until they shape entire destinies. And the chapters also emphasize the deceptive nature of sin. Adultery appears sweet before it becomes bitter. Laziness appears comfortable before producing poverty. Pride appears empowering before leading to destruction. Discord appears justified before tearing a person apart. Folly constantly disguises death beneath temporary pleasures and conveniences and self-gratification. It is the golden hook inside the bait. And by contrast, wisdom often requires restraint and discipline and patience and diligence and faithfulness over time. And yet, wisdom also produces stability and peace and flourishing for those who are willing to put in the work. And this presses into our life with tremendous clarity and force, because modern culture is constantly discipling people for instant gratification through entertainment and advertising and social media and digital temptations and endless competing voices that are shaping the imagination and desires of a people. The world repeatedly says, if you feel like it, then do it. If you want it, then indulge in it. If it makes you happy, how could it be that bad? If it satisfies you, well, then embrace it. But Proverbs insists that ungoverned desires will destroy people from the inside out. And wisdom guards the heart because the heart ultimately governs the direction of the life. And in that way, these chapters ultimately point forward to Jesus Christ, the perfectly wise Son, who always walked in flawless purity and diligence and truth and obedience. Every area where Proverbs warns humanity about folly exposes places where mankind repeatedly repeatedly fails, like lust and pride and laziness and deception and greed and divisiveness. But yet Christ alone walks the path of wisdom perfectly. And he not only teaches wisdom, he embodies it. Where humanity followed disordered desires to destruction, Christ ordered every affection perfectly beneath the obedience of his Father, leading to life. Proverbs repeatedly emphasizes the guarding of the heart. Well, that ultimately finds its fulfillment in him. Humanity does not merely need a better habit externally. We need a new heart internally. We need a heart transplant. And through Christ, God transforms his people from within by the Spirit, teaching them to love righteousness and to increasingly hate folly. And where adultery, betrayal, and covenant unfaithfulness dominate fallen humanity, Christ remains perfectly faithful to his bride. And he's the one who loves his people with unwavering covenant loyalty forever. So as you read Proverbs 4-6, I want you to notice how wisdom presses into the ordinary habits and desires and relationships and decisions that will slowly shape the direction of life. And tomorrow, we're going to reach one of the great climaxes of Proverbs as Lady Wisdom and Lady Folly stand before humanity, offering two radically different feasts and two radically different destinies. And with that, read your Bible carefully, devotionally, and joyfully, and may the Lord use his word to sanctify you completely, and we will continue our journey tomorrow. God bless you.